I'm going to preview and predict the 7th seed Notre Dame versus a 6th seed Penn State football game, which would be played at the Capital One Orange Bowl in Miami Gardens, Florida, at Hard Rock Stadium on January 9th, literally 6 days from now, at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. And as of right now, Notre Dame is favored by 1.5. We'll see about the spread between now and then. And first, I want to go over both records for both of these teams, first of all. And I'll put the stats for both of these teams in the description below. Though I will say the points per game, offensively and defensively, for Notre Dame's not listed in the PA file. So literally had to look it up. I mean, type all that out on the number of points they scored in each game and divide it by the number of games. Same thing goes for the defense on the allowed. So just got to keep that in mind. So Notre Dame, as we all know, they're independent in football. Their only loss is to Northern Illinois University, but they've won 12 straight games up to this point, and they're 13-1. But even that loss to Northern Illinois University was only by 2 points, so nearly undefeated. Now Penn State, they went to the Big Ten title game, as we all know, because Ohio State lost to Michigan. And ironically, Penn State's 2 losses are to Ohio State. Not bad. That's a quality loss when I see one. And it was a one-score game, as we all know, at home. And the other loss is to Oregon, but Oregon just lost in the quarterfinals. But I would say that was just a rough matchup against Ohio State. Ohio State is better than a normal 8 seed. Because let's be honest, Ohio State shouldn't have lost to Michigan in the first place. If they would have beat Michigan like they should have at home, they'd go to the Big Ten title game, and maybe Ohio State beats them then and becomes like a top 4 seed. Or even if they lose, they're number 5 seed, in my opinion. So, or 6 seed. But you get the whole point. They're better than that seed implicated. And literally, both of these teams had to play in a 6-11 matchup and a 7 versus 10 matchup. And then obviously play in the quarterfinal games this week. This is literally their 3rd game they have to play in the college football playoff, and if they get to the championship, they're going to have to play 4 games to win the national title. And that's crazy considering all the other teams in this field have to do that. I mean, the other 2 teams in the field have to do that too. I mean, in Texas and Ohio State. I'm just saying. Now, I'm just going to start with Notre Dame because they're a lower seed here. Points per game offensively, 37.7, while allowing 13.6. First downs, Notre Dame has 284, while allowing 230. Rushing yards per game, 217.5, while allowing 127.9. And I know the best defensive lineman is out for the rest of the year. So that really is a big loss, to say the least. In passing yards per game, 189.1 on offense, 167.4 on defense. So stout defensively. Now I'm going to go time possession here, 30 minutes, 22 seconds on offense, 29 minutes, 39 seconds on defense. Then they don't have the percentages on 3rd down and 4th down, by the way, on the Notre Dame side of things. So I'm going to just say 60 for 154 on 3rd down offensively, 58 for 194 defensively. And y'all could look it up. Just type it out on a calculator if y'all want to. And 19 for 26 on 4th down and 13 for 39 on 4th down defensively allowed. Now from here, I'm going to go tackles for loss, sacks, interceptions, pass breakups, such defended, quarterback hurries, fumbles recovered, block kicks, safeties. So 80 tackles for loss for the defense while allowing 61. 37 sacks, which you got to keep that in mind. that Riley Mills has 7.5 of those. So that's a loss right there for Notre Dame already, while allowing only 18. 18 interceptions by the Notre Dame defense while only having 6 interceptions by the offense. 60 pass breakups Sauce defended while allowing 27. 45 quarterback hurries while allowing 18. 13 fumble recoveries while the opponent has 7 of those. And block kicks. Notre Dame's blocked 6 kicks while allowing 4. So, yeah, it's kind of important. And one thing to make mention before going over Penn State stats here, the special teams has to step up in this type of game. Because you cannot have special teams blunders like allowing a kickoff return touchdown or punt return touchdown. Obviously, if you have that, that would be huge, and you can't allow like a block kick, a block field goal, block punt. I mean, you got to execute like all those, like potentially like an onside kick recovery for the kicking team, or guy recover the ball and all that. But you get the whole gist. You cannot have special teams mistakes. Okay, so Penn State's very similar offensively in terms of the points per game, and 33.7 on offense, 15.8 by the defense, 202.2 rushing yards per game while allowing 109. So that is going to be a battle up front, as you could tell already. 234.1 passing yards per game on game while allowing 187.9. So really both stout defenses here. But I would say Penn State has the better passer in the game, but that doesn't mean they don't have necessarily the better quarterback. Necessarily. So now I'm going to go. Oh, the first downs, by the way, like 347 for Penn State, 259 for the opponent. Just to go with that real fast. Time possession offensively, 30 minutes, 24 seconds. 29 minutes, 36 seconds. I apologize for looking at it because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Third down conversion, it's like 47%. Though it probably like has a decimal when you look at it. Try to type it out, use the calculator, like 86 for 183 attempts, which is 86 conversions. 35% on 201. Which is like 70 conversions. 70% on fourth down offensively on 23 attempts, which is 16 of those. Well, 56% on opposition for the opponent on fourth down conversions on 27 attempts, so that's 15 of those. So now I'm going to go over the tackles for loss and all that. So Penn State has 111 tackles for loss while allowing 59. 39 sacks by the Penn State defense while allowing 19. So it's really going to be a battle up front either way. And I get Notre Dame's down one guy, but you cannot underestimate them. They stopped Georgia's running game. And I know Georgia's running game is not the best. I get it. Not as good as in the past, but they made them one-dimensional. I mean, Penn State has 18 interceptions, while they only throw 9 interceptions themselves. 48 pass breakups / defended, while allowing 25 quarterback hurries. 38 of those by the defense. 19 quarterback hurries. 6 fumble recoveries by the defense while allowing 5. No block kicks, but they allowed 3 block kicks. Yeah, you can't have that. Now I'm going to go like keys to the game. Some keys. I know officiating at times can be questionable, so you got to be a more mentally tougher team and make plays to win. You got to make adjustments throughout the game, not just first quarter to second quarter, first half to second half, but throughout those quarters. I mean, that's the thing, and you can't be intimidated by each other going this game. I mean, it's just telling the truth. And you got to limit the penalties as much as possible, especially those big ones like on the third down, like a personal foul, roughing the passer, or pass interference on the defense. You know what I mean. Or onside on the 4th and 1 situation. Try to win the turnover battle. That's what helped Notre Dame propel to that win against Georgia, if we're being honest. Obviously, I mean, now, like, defensively, you got to make the other team one dimensional and try to take away the run game and make the other team beat you through the air. I mean, that's probably and contain both quarterbacks because both quarterbacks can run at times. I mean, it's just telling the truth. Force turnovers, create havoc plays, get the other team behind the chains. You got to be good in the red zone on offense and defense in this game. Don't want to allow chunk plays, as in like big plays allowed over 20 yards. You gotta have some limit the yards after contact or after the catch. Even of course on offense, you want that as much as possible. I mean, in all this, and you need to try to take away the best like playmaker for both these teams in terms of like wide receivers and running backs and tight ends. You need to try to slow them down in this type of game. Of course, you want to do that on offense as much as you can. And the offensive lines need to step up. And I think whoever wins the line of scrimmage might win the game. When you look at it, it's going to be interesting. And you can't take sacks in certain situations because then you're really behind the chains and it's like third and long. And for both of these teams, they honestly need like third and medium, like 3rd and 5 or less. In my opinion, especially Notre Dame, because they didn't. You gotta be good on 3rd down, offensively and defensively in this game. Same thing goes for 4th down, even if you need to do that on offense at times. Of course, you need to be prepared for those 2-point conversions if you need be. I mean, and whatever you did right last game, bring it to this game, and whatever you did wrong last game, you got correct for this game. So who I think is going to win? I envision like a low-scoring game here. I don't know about y'all. I don't expect this game to be in the 30s at all. And if one of these two teams gets to the 30s, I think the first team who gets there wins. That is if they could get there. Because both these teams are stout defensively. And it would not shock me either way on this game. I just don't trust James Franklin enough in this game to win. So give me Notre Dame. To me, Penn State's one of those teams that beats teams that they should, like SMU and Boise State, but then loses to teams like Ohio State and Oregon. And I know Oregon's eliminated from the college football playoff. Now I get it, but they were number 1 at the time when they played them in the Big Ten title game. I also think Notre Dame's just on a roll, and roll since that Northern Illinois loss, to be honest. And to me, they're the second best team to beat. I mean, the second best team who's going to possibly win the whole thing as in the national title right now. And of course, one thing, you want to stay balanced offensively in this game as much as possible. Look at the Notre Dame stats. It's exactly 154 yards both ways, both passing and running. You might need your passing game to step up at times for both of these teams because they limit the run game so much. I just think in a bigger game, I don't trust James Franklin enough. It's a James Franklin thing to do to lose in a big game like this. Like Ohio State, Oregon, and now I include Notre Dame in the mix. We'll just see what happens. It's definitely going to be an entertaining game. And I would be stunned if this was a blowout. But this is why we play the games. Who thought Ohio State was going to blow out Oregon? Not me. I mean, and who thought Arizona State was going to make it a game against Texas. I thought there was a possibility, but I didn't think Arizona State would win, but they were nearly there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button, and see you guys later on the road to Send Scratch Course. Ultimate goal is 1,000 more, some money off this course. Like video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithms, more people could see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people could watch. And if you're watching, and not subscribe, hit subscribe buttons for the notification bell as well. And you got to take care of the ball and get some points on turnovers when you have that opportunity to score some points on turnovers. I'm just telling the truth about in this game here. So we'll see. But this is a total coin flip game in my opinion. And when you look at the spread, it makes a lot of sense. Both these teams are up there, very close. And I know the matchup predictor says almost 59% for Notre Dame, but I consider this more like a 55-45 game. I really do. Or close to 50-50 as much as possible. So we'll see what happens.